Live from the Fox 43 studios, this is Fox 43 News at 10. Your late news an hour earlier.
And I believe the little boy was just shooting up in the air trying to scare everybody, because I believe they was out there fighting first and then just went out of control, started shooting, and they know what he was doing.
And now one teenager is dead, another wanted by police. How a night of fun suddenly turned to tragedy. Then, it's been 6 months since terror struck the heart of America. Tonight, some first responders share their stories from the front lines and tell us why they don't ever want anyone to forget what happened that dark day in September. Fox 43 News at 10 starts right now. But first on Fox, a Portsmouth teenager is dead tonight, gunned down in cold blood. 16-year-old Quinte Watson is a freshman at Churchland High School and was shot to death at the intersection of London Boulevard and Elm Street. And as Fox 43's Lowell Melser tells us, Quinte's friends say it was another child that pulled the trigger.
Friends of the 16-year-old victim tell us that their night started here at a party at Loft 935 in Portsmouth. They tell us this party ended at around midnight and a group of them made their way onto London Boulevard. Once the teens got to about here at the intersection of London Boulevard and Elm Avenue, they say several shots rang out. Once the smoke cleared, a 16-year-old was lying on the ground in a pool of blood. And what's even more shocking than that is they say the trigger man could have been even younger.
Then he was laying in the street or whatever, everybody trying to put pressure on him and help him.
But there was nothing they could do. Friends of 16-year-old Quinte Watson, who didn't wish to be identified on camera, said that he literally died in their arms. So who would do such a thing?
A little young 14-year-old boy dying or whatever.
You think it was somebody that was 14 that shot him?
It was. Everybody was saying the little boy's name or whatever.
Word on the street is that that little boy goes by the name of Peanut. Other witnesses tell us he was firing warning shots into the air to scare the large group of people emptying out of Loft 935 and didn't know what he was doing. Watson, a freshman at Churchland High School, was quiet but fun to be around, his friends told us. The party they were attending was aimed at getting kids away from violence, but it looks like they were simply unable to avoid it.
He didn't deserve this. He was innocent. He didn't deserve that.
This crime scene tape really the only reminder of that awful night. Police really need your help in this one. If you have any information, you're asked to call the crime line at 1-888-LOCK-YOU-UP. Mindy?
All right, thank you, Lowell Melser. And also tonight, a teenager's in the Chesapeake jail charged with murdering 2 people. Police think the 17-year-old was involved in the shooting deaths near Sir Kay and Aaron Drive late last month. 20-year-old Dario Dick and 23-year-old James Green were both killed. Now another teenager is wanted for the same murder and is still on the run tonight. A little fire damage didn't stop a Portsmouth church's anniversary celebration. Parishioners of Zion Baptist celebrated the church's 137th anniversary this morning. Now these services almost didn't even happen. The church's roof caught fire on Friday. Luckily, though, it caused just a little bit of damage and it didn't hurt anyone. That's one reason the congregation calls itself especially blessed on this Sunday. A Virginia Beach man is alive tonight thanks to the efforts of the Coast Guard. 21-year-old Charles Golay and 3 crew members were rescued after their Marine helicopter, just like this one, crashed into the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Georgia. Tonight, rescue crews found the body of a 5th crew member, Navy Corpsman Kevin Frank, who was based in South Carolina. The helicopter went down while the crew was trying to rescue passengers from another helicopter. Tomorrow marked 6 months since the worst terrorist attacks ever on American soil. Workers are still searching for bodies at the World Trade Center. Construction crews are still trying to put the Pentagon back together, and thousands are still mourning lives lost that dark day. The latest official count of the victims of the September 11th terrorist attacks shows a total of more than 3,000 people were killed. 44 on United Flight 93 that crashed in rural Pennsylvania. In Washington, 189 people were killed at the Pentagon, including 64 on American Flight 77. And in New York, the total counts come to more than 2,800 people, including those killed or listed as still missing at the World Trade Center. 92 people on American Flight 11 and 65 United Flight 175. Those totals do include the 19 hijackers aboard those 4 planes. You know, most of us will never forget where we were September 11th, the morning that America came under attack. We went to be with people and in places that made us feel safe and secure. All over the nation and right here in Hampton Roads, though, others did the exact opposite. They chose to go to the heart of the devastation. Fox 43's Tracy Moynihan sat down with some of those brave Americans tonight and has their heroic tales. Tracy?
Mindy, you're absolutely right. Some firefighters here in Hampton Roads left the comfort of their homes and their families to rush to the crumbling World Trade Centers and Pentagon. They went to look danger in the face, and they went to make a difference.
I think probably like everybody else, it was really unbelievable to me that we had sustained such a hit.
But unlike a lot of people, Chase Sargent raced to Ground Zero to help.
The air tastes like soot, and it tastes like bodies, and it tastes like fire, and it tastes like plastic and jet fuel. I mean, all of these things, and it has this very acrid, very pungent smell to it. My first thought was for all of the magnitude of the loss.
Loss that was being felt across the country, felt by so many, even as fellow Virginia Beach firefighters and FEMA members working at the Pentagon.
Once we pulled up to the Pentagon and we saw the devastation, it was a shock to me to see one of our icons had taken a hit. To see innocent victims succumb to terrorism was devastating to me personally.
It was a job that they were trained to do, but one that wasn't easy.
The hardest parts for me were the nights that we found bodies of people that I knew.
We knew we had fatalities there, and the chance of survival was zero.
6 months later, the images are still fresh.
So to me, it's still fresh in my mind. Every image that I saw on that particular day is still there.
They remain optimistic.
I think time heals everything.
Sargent reminds us all that while time is doing the healing, we must be careful not to forget.
Sargent says that he is lucky he got to go to Ground Zero and help, and he also got to walk away. He reminds us that many people didn't. Mindy?
Yeah, very important lesson there. Thank you, Tracy. And Sargent does continue to travel to New York. He splits his time between funerals and working at Ground Zero. He says it was tough being there, but he would do it all over again in a heartbeat. In the half a year since the September 11th attacks, Ground Zero has changed from a pile of debris and charred earth to an enormous construction site. And as Fox's Rick Leventhal explains, in the cleanup effort, there's a special tribute that will put the spotlight back on New York City.
6 months ago, there were fires burning behind me, and smoke filled the air over lower Manhattan, obscuring the twisted remains of the World Trade Center towers. Today, a very different scene at Ground Zero, which is basically a giant construction site. Roughly 1.4 million tons of steel, rubble, and debris has been hauled out, about 83% of the total, with just 200,000 to 300,000 tons left to go. Of course, the human toll is huge. Almost 3,000 dead in the attacks, and bodies are still being recovered. The work proceeding carefully here, with firefighters always on duty in case another victim is located. But just about everyone here understands that most of the bodies may never be found.
Everybody recognizes that we're getting to the point where we won't be able to recover many more bodies at this location. That's a very difficult situation. The firefighters still have friends and colleagues. There are firefighters here digging for their fathers' firefighters, and firefighters digging for firefighters' sons. And so there's a lot of emotion as we draw near to the point where, as they say in the fire department, the room's been swept clean, which means we've looked every corner of the room and there's nothing left, no one left to recover.
More than 2,800 victims in all, including the 343 New York City firefighters, will all be honored during a ceremony tomorrow at Battery Park, where the sphere, a bronze globe that used to grace the World Trade Center Plaza, will be dedicated in a ceremony attended by the mayor and governor and other officials. That ceremony is scheduled for 8:46 a.m., the time when the first plane hit the first tower. And at dusk, the mayor and governor will flip the switch on the tribute in light. 88 searchlights pointed skyward to replicate the Twin Towers, 2 columns of light that will be visible from up to 20 miles away. They will be lit from dusk to 11 p.m. every night for the next month or so. That's the latest from Ground Zero. Rick Leventhal, Fox News.
All right, thank you, Rick. And victims of another American tragedy tonight are asking the government for some compensation. Survivors of the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing say it's time for them to get help like the victims of the September 11th attacks. So they've taken their cause to Congress. Supporters of the proposed legislation say they don't just want money for their loss, but hope to prevent future terrorist attacks.
We're trying to get people to acknowledge it. Had it the safety glass had not been replaced, we probably wouldn't have had as many deaths as we had.
A congressional committee is looking into the bill, which also addresses the safety and security of the Alfred Murrah Federal Building. Some say it wasn't up to the legal safety standards when it was bombed. The war on terror is far from over, but the fiercest fight yet may be coming to an end. Why ground troops are pulling out of Operation Anaconda after the break. And then, sci-fi fans, grab your lightsabers. Jedis and clones will battle it out in the newest trailer for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. See all the action first on Fox. That's next.
Hi everybody, I'm meteorologist Jim Lawrence, and temperatures tonight, a big difference from what we had, say, last night with temps still in the 60s and also temps in the upper 70s. Right now, currents 47 here in Chesapeake, 47 Elizabeth City, 42 up at Gloucester. And how cold will it get tonight? We'll have the Super Doppler 10 forecast and also some good news about the upcoming week straight ahead.
You're watching your late news first on Fox with Stephanie Harris. This is Fox 43 News at 10. Closed captioning of Fox 43 News is brought to you by Charles Barker Lexus.
I've spent my whole life in a hurry, watching time disappear. No more. From now on, I'm treating time as an asset. I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to invest it in things that really matter. My bank has got to respect that.
The Forerunner and Xterra try to sell you with lots of rock music and mud. At Isuzu, we thought you'd prefer more horsepower, more cargo space, and America's longest warranty. But if you want more mud, we can give you more mud.
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
Meet Dave Mishi. His career at Turkey Hill Dairy now spans 25 dedicated years. The word is out that Dave has bought enough to stock his 2 basement refrigerators with Turkey Hill iced teas. Dave is kind-heartedly known as the beverage dude, and some predict Dave will actually come back in his next life as lemonade. Turkey Hill iced tea and lemonade. Cold-fashioned, refreshing, invigorating. Imported from Lancaster County.
My long and foster agent showed me a place today that has real potential. They call it a rambler, but to me, looks more like a loafer. Anyway, moving won't be so bad since my agent gave me HomeLink. I can call my personal move coordinator and say, hook up my cable. I need a refrigerator. Or give me a plumber. How simple is that? And then sometimes I just like talking to an adult.
This segment of Fox 43 News is brought to you by GMC Trucks.
Get yourself some German engineering. With offers this good, now's the perfect time.
If you haven't seen Fox 43 lately, you don't know Fox. You're watching Fox 43 News at 10, Hampton Road's premier hour-long newscast.
And welcome back to Fox 43. Family and friends gathered this weekend to say some final farewells to an American serviceman killed fighting the war on terror. Jason Cunningham was killed in a battle with al-Qaeda and Taliban forces in Afghanistan earlier this week. The airman was remembered by friends as the boy who ate field rations and wore fatigues as a child, but more for being an American hero.
We're real proud of him and all of the boys like him that have not only given a portion of their time, but have given their lives for this. And the way he died is speaks well for him.
I didn't know him, but I felt it in my heart, and I felt that it was a nice way of paying tribute to him, to his family, and to America.
Cunningham's mother was given a Purple Heart and a medal for his service. He'll be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Tonight, there's word the fierce fights of Operation Anaconda may finally be coming to an end. The vicious all-out assault started last Friday. For the latest developments as America strikes back, we head to Fox's David Lee Miller.
Operation Anaconda is winding down. Some 400 U.S. servicemen that had been on the front line in eastern Afghanistan are now being repositioned elsewhere. We talked a short time ago with some of them who said not only did they have to fight the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda, but a major concern was fighting the elements, the weather. It was extremely cold, with some of them suffering from hypothermia.
The conditions were harsh. We were at an elevation we've never been before, about 9,000 feet. We were about knee-deep in snow. We were heavier than we've ever been.
Here at the Bagram Air Base, the military spokesman, Major Brian Hilferty, told reporters a short time ago the major fighting of the battle is over. According to the spokesman, during the last 72 hours, there has been no sustained or accurate fire coming from the enemy. He says that U.S. forces and U.S. allies now control the Shaikat Valley, where most of the fighting took place. And jokingly, he even cautioned the remaining Al-Qaeda and Taliban, don't plan on leaving your cave hideouts anytime soon to go out for a pizza. He says Operation Anaconda is still not over. Meanwhile, local Afghan warlords and commanders in the region are trying to broker some type of a deal with the remaining Al-Qaeda and Taliban who are still in those mountain retreats. You might recall that last December, local Afghans tried to broker a similar peace deal in Tora Bora, but instead of getting any surrenders as a result, what happened was the Al-Qaeda and Taliban, for the most part, successfully slipped away. The U.S. position now, the Al-Qaeda and Taliban have one choice: surrender or be killed. At Bagram Air Base, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
All right, thank you, David. And as Operation Anaconda slows down, the criminal investigation into Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl's death inches forward. Sheikh Omar, the suspected mastermind behind the Pearl kidnapping, has now gone before a judge. During the hearing, a taxi driver admitted he dropped Pearl off near a restaurant in Karachi on January 23rd to meet his Islamic militant contacts. It's believed that that's where Omar's men nabbed him. America wants Omar extradited from Pakistan so he can be tried here, but that's something that Omar's lawyers are fighting.
Hi, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jim Lawrence. The good news is it looks as though we're going to see clear skies coming up overnight tonight. You can see the clear skies here across the eastern part of the country. And what about a warm-up coming up this week in the forecast? Is it going to happen? Well, stay with us. The Super Doppler 10 forecast is straight ahead.
If it takes my last dime, my last breath, this will be done.
6 months after the darkest day in our history, Americans come together to remember and to make sure that no one ever forgets those who lost their lives. A look at some memorials after the break.
You could say my job's for the dogs and cats and the occasional ferret. People depend on me to take care of their pets' needs, kind of the way I depend on Grand for all my furniture needs. Grand has solid, good-looking furniture at real down-to-earth prices, and it always fits my budget because I get my credit pre-approved online at grandfurniture.com. You could say that Grand Furniture is exactly what the doctor ordered.
That's Grand. Real furniture for real.
At Tarrant Bank, one of our greatest treasures happens to be our senior members. And with our Senior Partners program and its director, Carol Hernandez, they can expect great rates on their savings money. They can expect free checking, and they can expect a great program of social entertainment and travel benefits and trips to New York and trips to various plays and events throughout the Southeast. And frankly, at Town Bank, our senior partners have a great time.
Trade you your high interest rates for our low one. If you heard that we were trading $10 bills for your 5s, how fast would you get down to one of our branches? Now, put your money away, because we're not actually trading cash, but we are making a trade that will save you cash. All you have to do is transfer your high-rate credit card balances to an LFCU credit card up to your approved credit limit and receive 5.99% APR until your transferred balance is paid. So visit Langley Federal Credit Union and make your trade today.
Fox 43 News.
A newscast that's accurate, direct, and to the point every time.
And an hour earlier than the others.
This segment of Fox 43 News is brought to you by Haynes Furniture.
Monday at Haynes. Take home everything you want. And when the bills come, tear them up. April bill, tear it up. May, tear that up too. June, July, August, tear them up. Tear up every Haynes bill from now through December. Because Monday, while everything at Haynes is up to 55% off, there's nothing down, no interest, and no payments for the rest of the year. This final Monday at Haynes. Tear them up. Tear them up.
6 months later, it is still amazing to look at that. Rudy Giuliani is speaking out tonight about that dark day in September. The former New York mayor says he often thinks about that Tuesday morning, how horrific it was, and how we'd never have to deal with anything quite like it before. Through it all, though, Giuliani speaks of the day and the aftermath with pride.
There was a fire of 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit going on. There were buildings still falling down. They were at risk of their own lives, yet they put up the American flag. And I've always thought of that, at least for me, as a turning point. That was the point at which we won the war. And now we had to win the battles.
It's interesting. While New York and D.C. will hold memorials to mark the terror tragedies, they're not alone. Little towns all across the nation will hold tributes of remembrance. 2 cities in the heartland have something really special planned. A tribute to remember, grieve, celebrate the lives lost. Fox's Steve Brown has more.
This is the general location of the site for the Freedom Garden.
Stakes mark the spot of a future memorial honoring John Shenauer's brother. U.S. Navy Commander Dan Shenauer was killed in the 9/11 attack on the Pentagon.
He was gathering information on the New York attacks when he was killed to brief his superiors.
People have the whole vista of the Riverwalk.
Naperville, Illinois, feeling the loss of their native son, quickly planned a permanent tribute to the victims in America's war on terrorism. Pledges have poured in.
We've just started, and I just heard today that they're almost up to $75,000.
Waterloo, Iowa lost no one in the terrorist attacks, but Dennis Downs thought his town should have a memorial too. The retired wastewater plant worker came up with a simple design.
Which would be a flagpole. Behind it would be 2 I-beams to represent the World Trade Center, and then there'd be a debris field.
Downs' design calls for the memorial to be made from debris of the World Trade Center towers, a notion some folks in town don't care for.
I don't like the idea, quite frankly, of that being a part of anything we might do in this community.
But one Iowa politician has already put in a request for the rubble.
I'm going to be very aggressive in trying to get attention to Mr. Downs' request for material from the WTC for a memorial in Waterloo.
This is the heart of Waterloo as far as I can see.
Downs says he's not looking for money, just the debris and a place in Waterloo to put his tribute to the 9/11 victims.
If it takes my last dime, my last breath, this will be done.
Steve Brown, Fox News.
All right, let's have a look at the weather net right now, and we'll take a check here of some of the areas. Old Dominion University in Norfolk with 47. At Denby High School today, or at least their current temperature, 46. And notice these temperatures here. These were shortly after midnight at Cox High School in Virginia Beach. Already the temperature is 45. The big question is, how chilly is it going to get tonight? The Super Doppler 10 forecast for the work week is coming up.
Straight ahead on the Fox 43 Sports Wrap.
Today was Selection Sunday, and 3 teams here in Hampton Roads found out their dance partners. We'll take you to all 3 schools, and we'll hear from the coaches and players. Plus, they were racing down in Atlanta. Find out who won today's MBNA 500. Plus, Tracy McGrady and the Slam of the Weekend. That and more coming up on the Sports Wrap.
And if you think that's action, you'll love this. The newest trailer for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, that's next.
Well, you've lost it. If you'll excuse me.
What happened?
I thought he said a potato was coming.
Tornado? Why would I say a potato was coming?
Jack,
were you on a cell phone?
Yeah.
It's the cellular static. Here, Sprint PCS built the largest all-digital, all-PCS nationwide network, so you won't have any of these misunderstandings.
Bullet, come here.
Looks like things are clearing up already.
4,000 minutes for $39.99 from Sprint PCS.
March is the time to turn your home wish list into a wish come true at the Home Depot. Come in now through March 31st and get no payments and no interest if paid by January 2003 on consumer credit card purchases of $299 or more for all your kitchen, appliance, bath, and flooring projects. So bring in your list and get no payments and no interest if paid by January 2003 now at the Home Depot.
She doesn't just walk, she floats. She doesn't just talk, she tantalizes. And at dinner when she cooks, she doesn't just cook. She horrifies. Thank goodness she does have Subway. Our delicious selects are piled high with your choice of toppings and served on fresh-baked gourmet breads, making dinner at Subway an affair to remember.
Come by your local participating Subway restaurant today and get 3 regular footlong subs for only $11.99.
Popeye's Cajun Seafood Celebration is back, featuring Popeye's Popcorn Shrimp Basket. Tender shrimp seasoned with Popeye's Cajun spices. Or try Popeye's Crispy Catfish Basket. 4 pieces of tender catfish with a mild New Orleans flavor. Both served with fries, biscuit, and dipping sauce. It's Popeye's Cajun Seafood Celebration, starting at just $3.49. Or get a 12-piece box of Popeye's world-famous chicken for only $9.99.
Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good.
Imagine if you could use all your minutes across America. Introducing America's Choice. It's a new plan from Verizon Wireless, where every minute has no roaming or long-distance charges anywhere on the America's Choice network. Sign up now and get 3,000 bonus national night and weekend minutes for life.
Can you hear me now? Good.
Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you.
We at Fox 43 News are working constantly to be your most dependable source for the latest news and Super Doppler 10 weather.
We're part of the largest news organization in Hampton Roads.
And we use our powerful resources to bring you a newscast with the latest breaking news stories.
A newscast that's accurate, direct, and to the point.
And because it's on an hour early, it's convenient for you.
Get a complete picture of what's happening in your world with Fox 43 News at 10.
At this very minute, astronauts aboard Space Shuttle Columbia are kicking back and enjoying the view of Earth from outer space. Yesterday, the crew finished fixing up the aging Hubble telescope, adding new solar-powered wings and a new high-tech camera. That camera will allow NASA to get some clear images of the great beyond. Well, something much like the astronauts are getting to see firsthand, but not for long. The crew will splash back down to Earth on Tuesday. Sci-fi fans, get ready to be sent to the moon. The new trailer for Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, came out today, and you get to see it first on Fox right now.
I will not let this republic be split in two. My negotiations will not fail.
If they do, there aren't enough Jedi to protect the Republic. We're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
You know I don't like it when you do that. Sorry, Master. I forgot you don't like flying. Well, you've lost him. If you'll excuse me.
I
hate it when he does that.
Anakin, don't do anything without first consulting either myself or the Council.
You don't need guidance, Anakin. I see you becoming the greatest of all Jedi.
The boy has exceptional skills.
His abilities have made him arrogant.
Excuse me. I'm in charge of security here, milady.
They are using a bounty hunter named Jango Fett to create a clone army.
Wait.
We must stop them before they're ready.
Your clones are very impressive.
They'll do their job well.
Blast, that's why I hate flying.
This is a crisis. The Senate must vote the Chancellor emergency powers.
As my first act, I will create a grand army of the Republic to counter the increasing threats of the Separatists.
Hasn't been a full-scale war since the formation of the Republic.
You must join me, Obi-Wan, and together we will destroy the Sith.
The dark side clouds everything. In grave danger you are. Begun this Clone War has.
Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, blast into theaters May 16th, so you might want to mark your calendars for that one. In other news tonight, some harsh winds and heavy rains pounded parts of Michigan this weekend. Gusts were as high as 50 miles an hour in Detroit yesterday, knocking down trees and cutting power to tens of thousands of people. A down line set fire to one house, but those flames spread to 5 others before firefighters could get it all under control. Tonight, thousands are still without power, and crews hope to have it restored by tomorrow. And some powerful storms also ripped through parts of Ohio this weekend, leaving hundreds of thousands of people without power there. Wind gusts of close to 85 miles an hour knocked down power lines in and around Columbus. Many homes were damaged, and police actually had to close roads because of the debris. Well, we were lucky we had no weather like that in the area today. Jim Lawrence in the Super Dopplerton Weather Center. Jim, a lot cooler today, but a little bit more sunshine.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know, we had plenty of sun today, and the cooler temperatures look like they're going to be a mainstay coming up for the next couple of days, but there's a big warm-up, and wait till you get a look at the 7-day forecast, which we'll show you coming up. In the meantime, let's check Norfolk Academy right now with 45 and a high of 66. By the way, that 66 was shortly after midnight last night. Let's look at the current conditions right now through the area. Skies are clear. Newport News already at 44. It's 46 in Norfolk. Virginia Beach temp right now is at 46. Well, I tell you this, we had the Super Doppler 10 radar all fired up last night, ready for some of those showers and storms, but most everything passed well to our north, and I mean well to our north. That line of storms that you see that moved through Ohio, just the tail end of that moved through Virginia. I'd say probably crossing maybe the Washington area. Otherwise, everything was well to the north, and it was beginning to look like that on Friday as well. So we're all quiet on the radar. Let's roll on right now. Let's have a look at the sunset from earlier tonight. No clouds in the sky. A sure sign that high pressure is sitting right over us to clear out the sky, and that trend is going to continue through tomorrow. And then by Tuesday, it looks like we start to see more clouds as they develop here coming in from the south. But you can see how the skies are clear, and this is going to allow an effect called radiational cooling to come up overnight. Anytime that you have high pressure that's sliding in, which this is from the west, it's right now it's centered over Kentucky. This allows any heat stored up during the daytime to radiate out into space, and this allows the temperatures to plummet. That's why in the outlying areas we're looking for maybe 25 or 26 degrees, and right here in the metro area, temperatures bottoming out, say about 29 or about 30 degrees. But you can see the clear skies here in the east. Looks as though as we move through the week, though, by Tuesday, this area of low pressure down here in the Gulf of Mexico is going to be moving toward the northeast and promises to bring us some rain. It looks at this point like we could really get some rain out of that. But in the meantime, high pressure will be moving right along here starting in Kentucky, and by 1 o'clock tomorrow the high should be right over us, clearing us out, giving us a high of only about say 45 or 46 degrees. But by tomorrow night, notice we start to see an increase in clouds by Tuesday at 5 a.m. and then on Tuesday, according to Future Track, this area of low pressure moves right over us. Also a pretty good chance of rain. I'm thinking in terms of maybe about a 70% chance as far as rainfall coming up on Tuesday. Tomorrow we'll see 50s at Roanoke, 50s at Asheville, 50s here at Raleigh-Durham, 40s up at D. D.C., sunshine everywhere. So it should be a beautiful day up and down the mid-Atlantic. So tonight, 28 in Elizabeth City, 38 here in Nags Head, 25 at Denby. We'll see about 27 at Kilmarnock, 28 at Parksley. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, about 46 at Elizabeth City, 47 at Murfreesboro. We'll see 45 Virginia Beach, 47 at Denby, and 43 at Kilmarnock. Again, lots of sun tomorrow. Temperatures a bit on the chilly side. Notice the next couple of days, 45, 47, or 57 and 55, a chance of rain on Tuesday. Don't panic here. Looks like we're getting back to wintertime, but a look at the 7-day forecast. Notice this on Thursday. We get to 71, 74 on Friday, about 76 on Saturday, and about 70 on Sunday. So it looks like this week, once we get beyond about Wednesday, temperatures dramatically warm up, and it looks as though we'll see the longest string of days above, say, around 70 degrees that we've seen going all the way back to about October.
Coming up next on Fox 43 News at 10.
Still to come, the doors to the American Embassy are opening right here on Fox. A sneak peek at the newest drama series. That's next.
Slide it on in. Nice car. Of course, man. It's the most expensive car in America, dude.
That's weird. Mine's the most affordable. How many does your seat?
Well, they say 2, but...
Well, my reel can fit all you ladies comfortably.
That's great, Junior.
I even have a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and only paid around $9,000, which means I saved around $486,000.
$486,000, huh?
Visit your Hampton Roads Kia retailers through April 1st.
Do you have protection?
5 years roadside assistance. Hold it! Thanks.
21, please.
Like playing around with stuff? Well, at Best Buy, you can play around with anything you want. Actually, that's half the fun. Best Buy. Go ahead. Turn on the fun.
We at Fox 43 News are working constantly to be your most dependable source for the latest news and Super Doppler 10 weather.
We're part of the largest news organization in Hampton Roads.
And we use our powerful resources to bring you a newscast with the latest breaking news stories.
A newscast that's accurate, direct, and to the point.
And because it's on an hour early, it's convenient for you.
Get a complete picture of what's happening in your world with Fox 43 News at 10.
Hi, I'm Nicole Livas, and I want to tell you about a great way to help local children learn and grow.
Join us Saturday, March 16th for the Portsmouth Schools Foundation's Auction 2002. Bid on tickets to the Summer Pops concert at Intello's Pavilion. Or how about a stay at the Renaissance Hotel? Bid on gift certificates to some of Portsmouth's finest restaurants and more.
The money helps local kids achieve their dreams in school and in college.
Help our children's future by investing in their education now.
I kind of dabble in electronics on the weekend. But like most people, I have what you'd call a termite problem. So I invented this little beauty. It will identify, pinpoint, and destroy all termite species.
Here's a better idea. More homeowners trust the Terminex Unlimited Lifetime Protection Plan. 1-800-TERMINEX. No bugs, no hassles.
Life of a diplomat, fancy dinners, exotic travel, and, well, a lavish lifestyle. Sounds fun. And now you can be a part of it every week. That's because Fox's newest drama, The American Embassy, debuts tomorrow night right here on Fox. And so for a sneak peek, we head to Trace Gallagher.
Say hello to Emma Brody.
Fox is banking on the English pound, hoping a little international intrigue will spice up the Monday night lineup. American Embassy premieres next week.
A few words of description. Majestic. Impressive. Scary.
There are amazing stories about Americans when they're not on their home turf.
Oh, sheesh. I was hoping that big air thing was just the way they photographed.
Emma Brody is the new vice consulate at the U.S. Embassy in England, escaping a bad relationship to tackle a whole new set of challenges.
So far, I've dealt with a naked guy in the lobby, bailed out 2 wasted college kids who actually mooned the Queen, and tried to rush a transplant kidney through customs using my Bed Bath & Beyond card.
I think that's a big part of what the show's about, that it's really important to figure out how we can love and accept ourselves before we can really be a part of anything that's significant.
Don't tell me you live in there.
The show has romance, royalty, and a large dose of reality, as terrorism and thorny foreign policy are incorporated into the storyline.
The strength of the show is that, particularly post 9/11, is that suddenly we found ourselves in this larger context, that our character was working in an embassy and could address larger issues in the world.
At first I thought, you know, why make this show anymore? You know, it's just not right.
But in spite of some misgivings, producers felt doing the show will be good for ratings and for the audience.
We just decided if we did it in a serious and a tasteful way that we should actually explore what we were feeling, because we figured everybody else would be feeling it too.
One event can change everything in your life.
In Los Angeles, Trace Gallagher, Fox News.
Definitely looks like a hit. Now remember, the American Embassy premieres tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. You can only catch it right here on Fox.
Visit Race World on March 15th and 16th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for a special appearance of the Dale Earnhardt Legacy Souvenir Trailer and the Goodwrench car he drove to Victory Lane in Atlanta. Get up close and personal with a piece of racing history. Call Race World at 538-0481 for more details.
Arby's new Market Fresh Turkey Ranch and Bacon with honey wheat bread, pepper bacon, and a creamy ranch sauce.
Give in to your grown-up taste.
Introducing the Isuzu Axiom. It says sexy city style. It has a V6 with 230 horses. Giddy up. Leather trim seats, smooth and supple. Plenty of cargo space, too. And America's longest and sexiest warranty. The Isuzu Axiom. You want one, don't you?
Now get 0% financing for up to 5 years or $3,000 cash back.
Trade ya your high interest rates for our low one. If you heard that we were trading $10 bills for your 5s, how fast would you get down to one of our branches? Now, put your money away, because we're not actually trading cash, but we are making a trade that will save you cash. All you have to do is transfer your high-rate credit card balances to an LFCU credit card up to your approved credit limit and receive 5.99% APR until your transferred balance is paid. So visit Langley Federal Credit Union and make your trade today.
I have to admit, I'd never given it that much thought. Taking different medicines at the same time, I mean. But you have to be careful. I had this bad cold, so I started taking a cold medicine and then a pain reliever to bring down my fever, until my wife pointed out that the cold medicine already contained a pain reliever. So I was actually taking double the dose without even realizing it. The best way to be sure is to know your medicines. Always compare labels. Take the time to be careful.
Fox 43 News.
A newscast that's accurate, direct, and to the point every time.
And an hour earlier than the others.
Well, before we turn things over to SportsWrap, let's get one last check of the weather with meteorologist Jim Lawrence. Jim, did I understand you correct? Warm weather's on the way?
Well, warm weather it's going to be later in the week. Like I say, like on the 3-day forecast, I said don't panic until you see the 7-day forecast, because there are some big changes, and it seems a major pattern change is taking place across North America, and that's going to mean warmer temperatures. But in the short term tomorrow, we'll see only about 45 for a high. But this is only going to be one day. In other words, Tuesday, Wednesday, sort of, hit and miss, but by the time we get to about Thursday, that's what we want to keep an eye on. Look at that, 71, 74 on Friday, about 76 on Saturday, and 70 on Sunday. Boy, you talk about a time to plan your vacation, get it going. It would be during this period here. Again, 45 and an overnight low tonight of about 30 degrees. Some of the outlying areas will see temperatures down in the 20s, so it will be chilly tonight. But again, over the next couple of days, it looks as though as we get closer to springtime, the temperatures are starting to look more like springtime temperatures here toward the end of the week, with Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with temperatures in the 70s. I think this is about the longest string that we've had so far this year that we've tied together of temperatures of about 70 plus. Mindy?
That's definitely gives us something to look forward to. Hey, that's going to do it for us. Sports Wrap is next. We'll leave you now with a look at a giant American flag created by folks in Philadelphia to honor those killed on 9/11. Good night.
Live from the Fox 43 studio, this is the Fox 43 Weekend Sports Wrap, brought to you by Kim Knock Ford.
Well, championship weekend turned into Selection Sunday, and 3 teams here in Hampton Roads are headed to the big dance. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Reckling. March Madness hit home today when Old Dominion, Hampton, and Norfolk State found out where they're headed in the NCAA tournament. Let's begin with the men's side of the draw. Last year, Hampton became the darling of the tournament when they shocked Iowa State in the first round. The Pirates backed up last year's miracle season by almost sweeping the MEAC regular season. Today, the team found out who they will play this Friday. Yes, this was the scene at the Hampton Convocation Center today as the Hampton Pirates found out they will play UConn Friday, and they don't have to go far. They'll play them in Washington, D.C., and this is what the Pirates had to say after they found out the news.
We had a feeling we was going out that way, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us locals gives us a chance to stay home, you know, and play in front of our fans. I think with the seeding we can get a pretty good crowd, so that helps.
I think it's a great opportunity for our fans. You know, obviously the thing that they talked about with putting teams in regions closest to home, they held to that. And, you know, a great opportunity for our fans to experience what we experienced last year in Boise.
These are tears of happiness.
You know, it's hard for me to believe that it's March Madness. It really is. It still has not sunk in. And, you know, maybe when we pull the tapes out tonight and get after UConn, I'll realize what we've accomplished.
2 years back-to-back in the NCAA tournament, that's a great accomplishment. And to be the 15th seed to upset at number 2 again, that'll be another school history. So, you know, we're trying to get 27 wins, and you take it game by game.
So great news for the Pirates. They won't have to travel across the country like they did last year. The Pirates will have a 3-hour drive to Washington, D.C., where they will play second-seeded UConn from the Big East. Unlike last year, the Pirates will not be able to sneak up on the Huskies. Don't be surprised if Steve Murfeld and his team pulls off another first-round shocker. The winner of the Hampton-UConn game will next face the winner of the NC State-Michigan State game. So best of luck to the Pirates. Now to the women's tournament. The road to the San Antonio begins this Friday, and 2 local teams are in the hunt. One for the very first time, and one team making its 15th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament. Of course, that team would be the ODU Lady Monarchs, who last night wrapped up their 11th straight CAA tournament championship. Making the field of 64 is almost like a rite of spring for the Lady Monarchs. Here's their reaction to today's news. It didn't take long for the Lady Monarchs to find out who they will be facing in the first round. They were one of the first teams announced. They will face the Georgia Bulldogs in the first round this Friday in West Lafayette, Indiana. It's not exactly the news the Lady Monarchs were hoping to hear.
I'm actually very disappointed. I felt like, especially with some of the seeds in the same bracket, you know, we beat Penn State here. They're a 4th seed, we're a 7th seed in that region, and just thought that maybe we would be a 5th at worst. We're good at being road warriors. You know, the travel part doesn't bother me so much. I'm disappointed for the fans of Hampton Roads because really that victory the other night is the end of the field house, and I think a lot of people waited, you know, for the NCAAs to come to Norfolk to say goodbye, and now that opportunity isn't there any longer.
Yes, a bit of a tough draw for the Lady Monarchs. They will head to West Lafayette, Indiana to play 10th-seeded Georgia from the Southeastern Conference. That game is Saturday morning at 11 a.m. It's not an easy matchup for Old Dominion. The winner of that game will play the winner of the Purdue-Austin Peay game. Now to a program on the rise. 4 years ago, Norfolk State made the jump to Division I. Part of the reason to leave Division II was to be able to compete on the national level. And that means to make the NCAA tournament. Today, the dream became a reality. And this was the scene when the Spartans saw their name announced on national TV. Yes, a historic day for the Spartans athletic program. This is what it's like to find out you'll be playing top-seeded Duke in the first round. The Spartans earned the automatic bid yesterday when they defeated Hampton in the MEAC championship. The good news is the Spartans won't be playing Connecticut, and the better news is they'll be playing just 3 hours away in Durham.
Well, I'm so happy to go to Duke because our fans can go. You know, that's not too far away from us, so we know we're going to have some fans there supporting us. And, you know, when you play a #1 seed, they're all tough.